an Epstein insider may have just blown the cover of Bill Clinton, but this on-air admission, it's reigniting interest in what exactly the former president was doing with Jeffrey Epstein. But before we get into that, please like, comment, share, Explain America. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, former actor Kevin Spacey, who has got his own issues, obviously, as we know from the news, and he would certainly know about issues with the Lolita Express, which was the name of Jeffrey Epstein's flights that he took around the country, including Little St. James, which was the island where apparently a lot of these young girls were trafficked. So it looks like from the flight manifest that Bill Clinton was on there at least, he was somewhere between 6 to 9 times, and people argue about this, but I believe is at least 9 times, but it could be as high as 28, as Trump argued. So let's look at the facts. Bill Clinton claims, however, that he just took 4 trips on the Lolita Express with Secret Service, and that is wrong. It's absolutely more with that, because there are 6 on the books, and there are also off-the-books trips to Asia, Thailand, Hong Kong, and Brunei, all hotspots for human trafficking. Clinton also traveled with Epstein to Norway and Siberia and visited the White House 17 times during his presidency. Now, Clinton says he's never visited Epstein Island, but there are witnesses who argue to the contrary. He's been photographed with Epstein repeatedly, and, Epstein was welcome at the White House. I mean, this is really strange because Trump had him thrown out of Mar-a-Lago in 2006, and he also helped the victims of Epstein and also had him arrested when he was a president. So this doesn't really make any sense to me. He also threw the book at Ghislaine Maxwell. So the logs show that Clinton flew internationally with Epstein, and a first-hand witness says there were young girls on board. That witness was Kevin Spacey. So let's see what he has to say about this. Give us your comments and your thoughts about the story. It really certainly looks like there are very powerful people who do not want this to come out, and you have to think that Bill and Hillary Clinton are among those people who don't want this to be further investigated. So let's see what Kevin Spacey has to say.
In 2015, I started seeing reports online, things on my Twitter account that I had flown to this guy, Jeffrey Epstein's island, and I had abused young girls. And I was like, if you'd asked me in 2015, maybe even if you'd asked me in 2002, did I know a guy named Jeffrey Epstein? I probably would have said no. Well, of course, I have since learned who he is. And I have since been able to go back and find out that the airplane that we flew on for this humanitarian mission was owned by Jeffrey Epstein. And to then learn, he was actually on some of those flights. And this Maxwell woman was on some of those flights. I didn't know him. I've never spent any time with him. I was with the Clinton Foundation people. That's who I was with. Now, what I understand is that he didn't start to be investigated until 2005 by authorities in Florida. So here's what I can tell you. This Maxwell woman, she was one of many people who sat down next to me in that throne room. I have no relationship with her. I had no relationship with him. He's not my friend. I'm not a confidant. I've never spent time with him. And interestingly, I will say this. I was very fortunate that President Clinton introduced me a lot of business leaders in London because he knew I was coming to the Old Vic. And I developed relationships with Robert Earl, Pula Ladobovich, Robert Earl, a lot of wonderful people, Sir Richard Caring, people who supported the work that we did at the Old Vic and gave money to us. Do you know who I never asked for anything? Was Jeffrey Epstein. I didn't want to be around this guy because I felt he put the president at risk on that trip to South Africa because there were these young girls. And we were like, who is this guy? So I will say this.
There were young girls on those flights?
There were young girls on those flights,